Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. So I'll start with the first person I see on my little screen is Miss Jerry, which you muted. I'm not really sure. Is there a reason why you're muted? Is there something going on? Yeah.
I'm muted because Tom's making hot sauce.
Well, we'll come back to you. Maybe Tom will be done. All right, Amy, go first.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead, Amy.
Okay, well, I'm at a point right now where I kind of feel like I'm starting over and trying to start with new motivation. June was a really, really rough month for me, so I really didn't do anything because of circumstances I could not control. So I did sign one ambassador, however, but July was kind of like a month where I'm starting all over. So I am doing things that I are kind of uncomfortable for me. Like I'm starting to reach out and build relationships with people that I haven't really been connected with for a while. So I'm doing that. And I'm also a part of two networking groups that I meet with regularly. And I'm about to join a couple more. So I am doing those kind of things to kind of broaden my tits, so to speak. So that's kind of it right now. So I basically feel like I'm starting over.
Oh.
I do have a couple of people that are posting and are, I have two people that are participating in a boot camp thing that I put out on Facebook as a secret group. So they're doing that, but there's really not a lot of anything going on right now with my team.
Okay.
So.
Cool. All right. Well, that's all good stuff. I'm making notes. All right. Lisa, Wine Coop, go.
I kind of feel the same way Amy does in some regards. There's a lot of stuff that happened to a lot of my teammates over the summer that they're kind of, again, regrouping. And I think it's a good time of the year to do that as kids are going back to school and we're all trying to get schedules going. And I think it's a good time for, I don't think it's a bad thing, Amy, actually. I think it's a real good time, kind of like the new year as well. But we're getting ready. We're planning our second annual retreat in the Outer Banks. And we're kind of changing things up a little bit. We're actually doing invitations because our team is so much bigger than it was last year. And I didn't know how I was going to narrow it down. Didn't really want to do a contest because I don't necessarily think that always reflects how somebody's doing. For instance, there's many people on my team that are absolute huge leaders and should be going to Leaders Retreat and probably won't because June and July were such hard months for them personally. And they weren't able to do it, so, but they should be there. So it's the same thing with mine. I didn't want people to not go because they had a rough July kind of thing. So we changed up how we were going to do it. And I'm right as we were logging on, I was getting ready to email out these, letters from their sponsor and me, or me if they're my level ones, inviting them and kind of making it a formal thing and explaining to them why they were selected, which has really been helpful for us to reflect back on, the past year and what they've done and where we see them going with their business. So that's kind of what we're kind of focusing on right now, just kind of regrouping, getting ready for retreat in October, and hopefully repowering.
When is your retreat?
It is October 21st, I believe. Is that a Friday? What's funny is I just got ready to send all the letters, and Dawn, you didn't catch this when you proofed it. I put the dates for corporate leader retreat on it. On the letter, on the invitation. So I caught it. So I'm going back and rechanging it. I think it's the 22nd, Dawn. 21st. I can't get to my calendar for some reason. It's not letting me do that long.
I just wanted to jot it down. Okay, cool. That's awesome. And it's at the Outer Banks again.
Correct.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, let's see. Who else do I have? I'm gonna have to screen y'all. All right. I'm the people that are muted, I'm gonna call on last, just assuming there's a reason why you're muted. Anita.
Hey. I just started my first promo with my team because I really, really want to make it to Leaders Retreat. I'm 200 points behind, but we're just going to see what kind of magic we can work. So this is the first time, and really, it's I've gotten a good response. So I think it's getting people back on track, and people are starting to reach out again. Just like everyone else said, it's our first summer, so we didn't know what to expect. So we're just starting over, going strong, and keeping our fingers crossed for
What's
leaders.
your promo? What's your promotion?
I'm covering the the 34.95.
Cool.
And for my personal customers, I've reached out to a bunch of new people. So for them, I'm doing a free shipping and or not and, but or the $34.95. So I'm doing my own personal thing and then one for my team.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Good deal. All right, let's do Michelle.
Am I unmuted? Okay. Where are we? We're in a lull right now. I started out the summer, I felt like pretty strong, was positive about Leaders Retreat, knew it was a deal. Well, it's not.
Is Michelle breaking up on everyone, or is it just me?
Breaking up.
It's everybody.
everyone.
Okay.
No.
I'll be out for a week, and it's just been a big, I'm trying to get a fire lit.
Okay. All right. I might circle back around to you, Michelle, because you broke up a little bit. Can you hear me, Michelle?
Okay.
Your whatever, your network was low, but so you're just saying you're just kind of
Yes,
starting
I
over.
can. Can you hear me?
Huh?
Okay.
Okay.
Kind of. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
In a funk. For the first time, I'll be honest, for the first time since I've been with this.
This is good. I know, Michelle, what you're saying is really important, and I can't hear you. Let's come back to Michelle. Rachel, go.
I missed the first minute, so are we just sharing where we are?
Yeah, just kind of an introduction. Not everybody knows you, especially, so just kind of where you are, and if there's something really great going on, share, and if there's something that you're kind of challenged with, share. And I kind of preface it with the filter, though. I don't want this to be about just complaining, so it's a filter of like, if I bring this to the table with these other leaders, can they help me in such a way and pour back into me? Yes, so go ahead.
Well, I've never done a promo like Anita suggested. Did you do a promo like that, Dawn, in the beginning? Did you do a promo in the beginning? Because I watch a lot of training videos, and then I see that some Jules will say that's a great idea. Will say, no, I would never do it. You want people to have teeth in the game, and if you're paying for it, then you're devaluing what we have. So I just wanted to know your personal opinion about it. I'm nowhere near having points to go to Leaders Retreat. That's not and what I found is that I'm a busy, very active person, hardworking, but I think I'm ADD, and I didn't even know it because I have so many potentials, and I have these flashes in my mind. I need to sit down, I need to write to that person and follow up, and then something will catch my eye, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, this is something I need to share with my team, so I'll share it on my team page, and then you go down these rabbit holes and you're 6 tasks in, and then you forgot to do what you sat down to do in the first place.
That's really good. I think that happens to everybody. So we'll talk about that. That's really good stuff. Okay, let's see. Who's next? Dodie, I see you.
Hey, good morning. I probably can tell you what Michelle was trying to say, because we talk frequently about what's going on with our team, but she and I have been trying to keep one another motivated this summer with all the crazy things that have been going on with people on our team. We, come hell or high water, are having the August training down in North Carolina. I really appreciate you getting on board with that, Dawn, and getting Jill. She's amazing, and I cannot wait to meet her personally. So we're going to do that. We are going to do the training up in Philadelphia in October. We're going to do that training the same weekend that Lisa has her retreat. So Lisa, whoever can't come to that because maybe it's too far away, you're welcome to join us up in Philadelphia. I spent the last 2 months basically reconnecting with a bunch of people. We had the Navy SEAL reunion, and that's always a good time for me to get back in touch with my girls that that I'm really good friends with, that I think would be fantastic on this team, but that life just gets in the way. So between that and just really doing my 5 and 3 N1, basically. Sometimes that gets left off, but, and I wanted to kind of share something with you guys. So we all have friends that we've had for a really long time, because I don't think anybody on here is really young. Maybe Anita, you look young. Maybe you're not. I don't know. Maybe you just look like a baby. But I've been around the block a few times. I, like Jerry, am military wife, so I've lived all over the world. I also traveled with my mom as a gypsy, so I've got a lot of friends in a lot of different places, okay? And it's hard to keep up with those people. But the reason I'm telling you this is that I have 2 of my college roommates are on my team now, but the one who I would have pegged as really being interested, it took her almost 2 years to come around. And she was watching, but very, very good friend of mine. I've known her since 1988. We played basketball together in college. We lived together. We stayed in touch. So, and I think she's probably going to end up being, somebody who really wants to work the business. But I'm going to tell you a really short story about her. Her husband is, I always thought they were very wealthy and would never need the business. So I judged that book by its cover. I shouldn't have done that. But anyhow, she lives in California in Orange County. Her husband's a pharmaceutical rep. And that was strike number 2. I'm like, oh, Chris is never going to let Joe get involved in this business because he's a pharmaceutical rep, blah, blah, blah. Well, she's now on board, and I've taken a different approach with her as far as her starting her business, because she's very, very interested in it. So I'm gonna see if it works, then I'll share with you guys what I'm doing. But and I've just basically just been really, really working, staying in touch with people, reaching out to people just to say, hey, I really miss our friendship, and just honestly doing what I like to do anyhow, but using the business as an excuse for me to do that, to spend time away from my family doing that. So that's what I've done this summer. Hopefully it'll pay off in the fall. I don't know. It's yet to be determined, but that's essentially what we've been up to. So
Cool. Awesome. I don't know, Lisa Shelp, your camera's on, but can you talk? Lisa, no. I'll come back to her. All right, so Dawn, I see you. Can you talk to me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Hello, guys. I need to know first, was that just Dodie? I couldn't hear who it was.
Yes, that was Dodie.
Okay, I thought that was your beautiful voice. So, Dodie, first thing, just a question. So you moved your training back to be the same week as retreat, because initially you were looking at the weekend before.
It's the weekend before, honey. Okay,
it is still, okay. So you're still looking at the weekend before, because I definitely have some people interested in attending that won't necessarily be at retreat. So I just wanted to verify that. Okay. So it's in. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I thought somebody was talking. I'm so not used to doing this on the phone and not being able to see everyone's faces, but I'm actually at a First Act client, my accounting client, in an office by myself. So that's how that's going down. So it's interesting that there seems to be several of us on the track of having had a slow time in July. That was a low month for me as well. And again, the challenge for me, it seems to be getting my team to be interested in reaching out, commenting back on some of the posts and suggestions that I'm making. So I just wanted to throw out there that I find it interesting that there's a few of us that seem to be in a similar path this summer. I was not actively working my business last summer, so I'm not sure if it is a common thing in the summer months of that taking place or not. I have taken advantage or incorporated what you guys started as Blitz Days down in Virginia Beach last spring, I think it was. I didn't have anybody really interested in doing that and coming to my house. I did reach out on that one. So I've just started my own, and that just means for me that because with my other business in accounting, I don't always have time consistently to reach out on a daily basis, and oftentimes not even a couple days a week. So I've turned it into what I'm calling my own little Blitz Days. They're typically on Saturdays where I just block out time. Sometimes I actually even go to the library so that it's completely uninterrupted from laundry or dogs or husbands or stepgirls or whatever, and just hammer it out. And I've really found some good success with that. That's what's allowed me to bring in customers, and as well as sharing the business opportunity. That so far hasn't converted quite as much, but I can see that it's going to be doing that. So for me, that shift from a 5-3-1, I apologize, there's a phone ringing because I'm at this client. But anyway, for me, that shift from being able to do a consistent 5-3-1 on a daily or even, a few times a week basis to doing it all in one fell swoop is actually working. It's actually working really well. So just throwing that out there. I don't know if there's anybody that, might be able to take advantage of that, that shift a little bit. And I've shared that with my team as well. And but so far, I don't believe I've had anybody that's jumped on board with that. So that's been helpful for me in doing that. And I've also really pushed talked to my team a lot about pursuing Consistency Club, which was launched at convention, and I'm sure you guys have gotten emails on. It's been a good motivator for a couple of my runners. Can you not hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
You're good. Keep going.
Oh, I'm good. Okay. All right. So anyway, that's worked well. So we're just plugging away. I just really, for us being in Maryland, I'm really feeling the pull to establish some training, consistent training up here that I could get people to. I hear feedback that, and it's probably an excuse, quite frankly, but it's being said nonetheless that, the training being in Virginia is just too far for folks to travel. And I certainly understand that, but in my opinion, that's no reason not to pursue your business here and do what you can do here and take advantage of opportunities here. And since I'm not really seeing that quite as much, I'm really considering establishing some training here in Maryland that I am more than happy to lead. I feel like I have enough material to do it. It's just a matter of getting somebody to help coordinate the efforts with finding a place and, doing lunch and getting sign-ups and figuring out what we would charge, if anything, and so on. So that's kind of what's going on with me. Though I will not be attending Leaders Retreat, I am attending Sonia Stringer's conference in St. Louis, I think it's September 29th through October 2nd, something like that. She's a network marketing professional, a trainer for women specifically, and I've been taking her training, honestly, for probably about a year on and off. So I'm really looking forward to that and getting some good feedback from other women in network marketing, but not necessarily within Plexus, although I know there are some that are. And actually, I've even gotten a customer out of it, of somebody that I met online through our chat that's now on Plexus. So yay, maybe I'll pull her over. So anyway, that's a quick chat summary of what's going on with us.
Cool. Oh, that was all really good stuff. I think the only person we haven't heard from maybe is Lisa Shelp. If Lisa can talk. If not, Lisa, I get it. I'll just give you a second to unmute and talk. Okay, we'll assume that Lisa's like at work or something. That's very possible. Did I get everybody? Except Jerry. We were coming back to Jerry, I think.
Okay, so I've actually had a pretty good summer. And so I've been kind of working on getting new customers, especially. Now what I've always kind of done is kind of focus on Facebook and friends that live elsewhere, and been kind of hesitant to kind of share locally with the acquaintances I have here. But I've kind of hit it hard here locally. Last month I had a Plexus Bunko, and I had about 10 people that have never liked, done anything, expressed any interest in Plexus come to that. I had, I think, 3 customers come out of that. And what I did towards the end of the month was to encourage people to buy products. And I said I would rebate $5 for each product that they would purchase. And so there were some people that weren't quite ready to make that decision at that time. And so they've kind of stretched it out. And so now this month I'm trying to blow it up even more. So I've kind of I've continued that and it's just kind of a one-on-one. Hey, if you're thinking about it, this is $5, for each product. I also have contacted all of my current customers and said if they could get me, if they know of anybody that might need Plexus, I would give them $20 to bring on a new customer. And I have one that's kind of working her way. So that's been pretty successable. So.
And how did your PJ party go? Went that last night?
Yeah, it went well. I did it mainly for one of my newer ambassadors. She signed up under the July 4th Freedom thing.
Yeah.
I know she could do this business. Michelle and I were talking about it earlier today. She would be a rock star. But literally, she had like 3 bags of Plexus Slim given to her, and I mean bags, by different ambassadors because they see her potential. And she's taken it periodically. And so she decided to sign up with me because we live kind of close to each other. And I thought we were good to go, get her started. And I can't post on Facebook. All those people that gave me all that Plexus Slim, they're going to be really mad at me. And I said, but, she's cleaning houses. I mean, that's like how... Ugh. Anyway, so I did the Facebook party to try and get her to a point where she would maybe start feeling comfortable inviting people. And none of her people she invited, even commented, showed up. So that was frustrating, but I added some of my own people, and I've got 3 people looking at it, and I have 1 person who I'm talking to about the business. So
cool. All right, awesome. Okay, so that's good stuff, everybody. Let me just kind of revisit some of the things people said. So I think those of you guys that shared that, you feel like the summer was a little slow, there was some distractions, totally across the board, except for Jerry. Good job, Jerry. I'm so proud of you. But I think we're all sort of in the same boat. But that's okay. That's the beauty of our business is you can take a little bit of, not a lot of time. I mean, it's sort of the beauty, but yet the opposite of the beauty is you can't take a little bit of time is good, not too much time, because as John Maxwell teaches, the big Mo, you need momentum. It's in the 21 laws. So for anybody that's on this call that has not purchased that book by John Maxwell, I highly encourage you get it. Let that leadership book be like each of those 21 laws or sort of work as the leadership Bible, because you'll be able to go, oh, I'm in the, I'm dealing with this. This is what's going on for me. And you can kind of use it. I find it very helpful to know the stuff in that book because as I'm talking with you all and others, trying to coach along, I a lot of times refer to some of those laws of leadership. So anyway, that little tangent I just went on. But momentum is super important. He talks a lot about it. He has videos out there about the law of the big Mo. When you can get momentum moving and grooving and rolling, speed loves speed, and your business will continue to build upon itself. And so we find ourselves in a situation where we've hit a wall and our momentum stops. It is like starting over. In my experience, this is not the first time that I personally in my business have gone through a hit a wall, regroup. What are we going to do to kind of get that ball rolling again? The number one thing that I've learned in it is action. No matter what you do something. There's no secret like, oh, if you do this, your business will explode. It's a building thing. You do a little bit of everything. You kind of throw this and put this into action and do this and do that, and it takes a little bit of time. So it's not like, oh, if I run an event, my business is going to explode. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen that way in my experience, but in fact, it is. I do an event, I do a Facebook party, I start doing more trainings with my team, I start implementing this, implementing that, and all these things working together, you'll find, and it takes about 2 or 3 months sort of for that momentum to show. So what we do and what we start doing now this is in my experience, so this is not like fact. We'll kind of like, okay, so we start really digging in the mid-August. A lot of what we'll do will probably show up in October, November. So it is important right now to be continuing to do that stuff and plant those seeds. So what does that mean? So let's share some action, some things that come to mind for me when I think of action, when I kind of sit down to say, this is what I'm going to do, is sort of dividing up time, because being a good time manager first. So there's a little bit of planning about, but kind of dividing it up into 3 areas. One being, what am I going to do to personally grow my own business? What am I going to do to add level 1s to my team and to get a customer base? What am I going to do? What does that look like? That looks different for every person. That might be, I love what Dawn just shared, Dawn Regner. What a great idea, and I think maybe Rachel, that was maybe something you wrote down. I was listening to the things that, you're feeling like you're all over the board because you're using, but what if you just chose one day a week to say, this is my personal business day. I'm going to have my own personal blitz day where I really focus. Maybe it's an hour, maybe it's 2 hours, maybe it's 3, whatever you can kind of squeeze out. I love it. I think that's a great idea to go to a different place, because I know sometimes in our homes, totally guilty of this one, it's easy to get way distracted, especially in the summer. Love that. So that's really good. So personal business, what are you going to do in your personal business to sort of ignite that growth? What are we going to do? So I would say that blitz days are great ideas. There are some other things. So anytime you can plan a live event, absolutely. And here's the thing, you guys. Now, live events don't have to be big. They don't have to be huge. They don't have to be at the Holiday Inn with 50 people. They don't even have to be at the Green Turtle with 20. I mean, if that's not something that you feel ready to do and comfortable with, do small ones. Encourage your team to get like, okay, let's go to Haley's house and invite 3 of her friends over and sit around and just love on each other and talk about the pink drink. I mean, it doesn't have to, I just want you guys to always know that it doesn't have to be formal, but that's action. You know what I mean? Like that's an action step you can easily take. So what are some other, I'm just going to talk for a little bit, and I want you guys to chime in, because this call is not intended for me to be talking. I do that on Tuesdays. I don't want to do that on Mondays. But so Facebook parties. So Jerry, I love that you did that. That was something that Jerry and I talked about on a coaching call last week. It's action. It's like taking something to the next level, offering, and certainly to your new ambassadors. I mean, anytime we can give them a cookie cutter sort of, this is like system where you say, okay, I'm going to do this for you. All you have to do is show up. It takes a little bit of that fear out of it, that fear of like, not everybody's a self-starter. I venture to guess that the 10 people on this call are, but we're not the norm. If you're a self-starter that's able to just hit the ground running and do your own thing and invest, that was a lesson it took me a while to understand. I didn't understand that not everybody was like that. And so just go ahead and recognizing that a lot of people get into this. They're used to being led because they're led at their jobs. They have bosses. They're, this is not a natural thing. So the easier that we can make it for them to be successful. So like doing the PJ party. There's a really great website called postmyparty.com, I think, that I learned about from another group kind of like this that I'm on Fridays, Sidelines. And it's really simple and I recommend that everybody check it out if you're interested in utilizing that sort of Facebook party model, because you can schedule everything out. You can put so you can schedule posts every 5 minutes and have a template. And what's really great about having that template is you can reuse it. So Jerry uses it for her new ambassador. Boom. She runs this party for an hour on a Sunday night, and then she gets another ambassador the following Sunday. And then she can do it the following Sunday. So it's something that you can do that can create some consistency, where you're not feeling sort of overwhelmed, like, oh my goodness, do I have all the tools and the posts and the information to run an hour-long event, of information. So it gives you some time to kind of plan it, research it, plug it into a template, and then the thing runs itself. So I've heard that those are amongst the company, the other people are doing that on other teams and they're real successful because it's easy to do. And it's a template. And it's something that's duplicatable. So there's, that's something that I have always struggled with. I think it's not unusual in network marketing to struggle with duplication, because you've got it. But it's, somebody shared with me, I think it came from convention, we want to be system dependent, not sponsor dependent, right? So you might, 1 out of 20 people that you recruit might be somebody like you that's a self-starter, Well, 1 out of 20, shoot, let's try to get 1 out of, if we can help get to like maybe a 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 5, because we're able to create systems that are duplicatable. And so we're system dependent, not, which I'm always open for, because I, obviously haven't mastered that one. So that's a conversation we can have. So that's why it's good to share. But some things that I've heard from other really successful teams are some duplicatable things are doing, when someone signs up right away, we immediately do a welcome call. So if we're not doing that already, or you're just saying, hey, I just want to say welcome to the team. One thing, that's something that I would like to start implementing, because I do think phone calls are something we don't do enough of. But I think it's also tricky because you never want to overstep boundaries, right? Like, I don't necessarily want to go to Jerry's new ambassador and welcome her if that is something that Jerry doesn't want me as her, as her sponsor to do. So I would like to be able, I think that's a good thing to do, just to kind of pick up the phone. Hey, welcome. We're glad you're here. Jerry's an awesome sponsor, and she's a great leader. I'm here to help you as, in addition. So, anyways, I'll take some feedback on that one. Another thing that I've heard across the board as far as action goes that is really helpful is doing the Zooms, where we do the small Zoom meetings. So we just say to our brand new ambassador, hey, let's pick a time. We're going to spend 30 minutes, try to get 3 to 5 people to join you that are on the top of your dream team list. You always want them to start thinking in terms of who that might do this. Let's get them on the Zoom. You just have to show up and just share a little bit. Like, you just have your people, your new ambassadors, share their why a little bit, so you can help coach them through it. A quick 5-minute why she's doing it, why she's excited about it. And then as a sponsor, you kind of just take over. And I tried to model that a little bit for a few of you guys, but that's basically just question asking, with the people that are on the call that are brand new. Like, tell me about your health goals. Tell me about what you want to gain, So if you're comfortable with that, and I get that not all of these things that I'm saying, you're like, ooh, yeah, that's not me. I can't do that. I get that. And so I would like to say, challenge you to say, it's okay for something to make you uncomfortable. If something makes you to the point uncomfortable, to the point that it's awkward and just doesn't work for you, then find something else. But if it's uncomfortable just because it makes your heart beat a little bit, then that's a good thing, right? Take yourself to the next level, challenge yourself to get uncomfortable, but not to the point of awkward, because you don't want to have the sort of opposite effect, right? Work your way up to it. So there's Zoom calls. If you don't like to go face-to-face Zoom, 3-way calls are hugely important. I mean, anytime Jules are asked, what do you think is the best thing that promotes your business? What's the thing that gets people active quickest? It's 3-way calls and or these Zoom meetings, because you just want to connect with people and never assume that they can just do it. They can't just do it. Some people can, but they're few and far between, based on the information on a team page or based off a few videos that we send them. Let's see, what are some other things that I've learned are really good for people? Definitely, trainings. And I heard Dawn say, I think we need to get trainings going on here in Maryland. Trainings, again, they don't have to be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be the model that you see in Virginia, where we have these big Holiday Inns and we have Jules coming and there's 100 people there. I worked my way up to that. You guys understand that, right? That's 2.5 years in the making of taking myself to a different level of okay, the first training we sat around, I got a hotel lobby for free. Seriously. I was like, I just want a place near my house. And I went into the hotel and I was like, hey, can we just, a few of us sit in your lobby and kind of chat? And they're like, sure, whatever. Okay, so that's how so that's what it looked like. And the only reason I didn't do it at my house was just because I have 5 kids and my house is messy and I didn't feel like cleaning up. So I went to the hotel lobby 2 minutes down the street. And I was nervous as I could be. You know what I mean? I was terrified because I'd never been to one. So get that. You don't have to, just because you see, I'm just going to say myself, whatever your person, your sponsor is doing, they probably worked their way up to that if it's something really big. Uh-oh, my internet connection is unstable. I hope I don't break up on you guys. So do a training, absolutely. Do a training, Dawn, wherever you are. Rachel, you're in Florida. I get it. You're not here. You can't come to these big Virginia trainings. But I would challenge you as leaders, you're on this call because you've shown that you're a leader. You've shown that you have the self-discipline, the tenacity, and you want to be successful. So that's something you got to have, having those live trainings. And guess what? Let's say you plan a training and one person shows up. You probably will still benefit the most because you've had to learn it. You've had to learn how to teach it. You've had to train yourself on how to be a trainer, right? So always remember that no matter the success is not necessarily the outcome of who's there and shows up, but the success actually starts with what you are able to learn in the process. Hey, I have a child looking at me like, Mom, are we going to Busch Gardens soon? Let's see. All right, so anybody else have anything, like ideas? I've just kind of thrown a few things because I have these Friday calls that I get on that are just a lot like this, where everybody just kind of shares ideas and what's going on. So that's some stuff that I've heard that I wanted to share with you guys that helps people to be successful. Anybody else want to add anything?
Dawn?
Yeah.
Can I just add on to your idea about the welcome calls real quick?
Mm-hmm.
I don't call mine, and I agree with you. I completely respect my level 1s, 2s, and 3s and don't call their folks without their permission. But I will, when somebody adds a new ambassador, send them, the sponsor, for instance, Dawn, a message and say, I see you added so-and-so. Is it okay if I leave them? And what I do is a private message, a voice private message on Facebook. So they hear my voice, but they're not picking up the phone to a complete stranger going, why is she calling me? But not only do I want permission, but I also want to know a little bit about the person. Are they just wholesale ambassador? Is it her dad who really, wants nothing to do with the business, just wants the better price? Or is it somebody that has potential in the business? So I craft my message to them around what Dawn tells me about that new ambassador. So if it's a dad of somebody who just wants praises, I may not call them. I may just shoot them a private message or, leave a voicemail. I may just shoot them a little, but I always say what you said, which is you have an amazing sponsor. She is going to be able to take great care of you. If you guys ever need anything, I'm always here, blah, 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 blah. But I've gotten wonderful results from that as far as people sending really nice notes back and saying it made them feel so welcomed. I think it's nice to hear your voice.
Mm-hmm.
Just have one more contact and make them feel like they're special. So very good. Bill,
that's good. I think that's really good. Yeah, because sometimes, and that's you can also do the voice messages too when you're like after hours, that are. I'm famous for that. I apologize for anybody that I've ever done that to. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, hey, what's up? Sorry, that's when I work. But
turn my my volume off at night.
Yeah, please do, because of me. It's all because of me, you guys. I'm like 3 o'clock in the morning. The other morning I was up late. But anyway, that's really good. I think too, one of the things, now I've never done network marketing before, but I've since been interested in the way that other companies do it. And there are a lot of companies that have been around a while that have these very structured systems for welcoming new people. Like you have a new ambassador, you have a new consultant, you do this is your box, these 5 things you check. That's something that we don't, as Plexus ambassadors, we don't really have a structured system. I kind of, through the years, it's getting better, but it's been kind of like the wild, wild west out there because it's so new. And we're still all learning and growing, and so we've had to kind of create our own systems. And so probably through that, there's some things that we haven't done. But I think the number one thing that you'll see like across the board in all network marketing companies is that from the time they sign up, you want them to feel special. You want to affirm their decision, because immediately, even the best person in the world immediately starts to be skeptical. They immediately start questioning, what have I just gotten myself into? Like there's this moment of, I'm so excited, this is going to be awesome. There's hope, there's belief, there's all of a sudden that it awakens this dream. And sometimes it can happen as soon as they click pay, when they're waiting for their products to arrive, this other thing starts to happen. Oh my gosh, what have I got myself into? Oh my gosh, am I going to have to, spend $100 a month? What if I can't do it? What if I can't find a customer? Then you got, the husband that sees the credit card and like, what did you just spend $103.95 on? And then you know what I mean? So all this stuff starts to happen. Even the most hopeful, dreamy person in the world, that happens to. It probably happened to all of you guys at some point too. So if we can be mindful about the fact that that's normal, And so let's not get surprised when we have this new person that we think is going to be awesome, and then she goes MIA in 3 weeks. That shouldn't surprise us. But we as sponsors and leaders can just try to remember from the very beginning, try to nurture that, try to continue to encourage them, acknowledge that they made a great decision, show them those diamond documentaries, show them what can happen. We are dream igniters. You know what I mean? So we can be coaching, and that's not hard to do. I mean, that's not anything more than just being ourselves, right? And sharing our passion and making sure the new person is affirmed in their decision. I mean, this is a true story, you guys. When I signed up, and I'm like a half glass full person to the point of my own demise. I'll be honest with you guys. That's just, anybody that knows me well knows that about me. I'm like, it's going to be great. It's going to be fine, to the point of like not even looking at the reality of the situation. But anyway, so when I signed up, I did the same thing. I mean, I was so like, oh, this is going to be great. I'm so excited. This is so awesome. And then within a couple of days, I like called the customer service number, and I accidentally dialed a wrong digit, and I got some other company, and immediately I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a scam. This isn't a real company. They just took my money. I'm never gonna get my products. I'm freaking. And I didn't even know Celeste very well, and I'm like, texting, I'm like, oh my gosh, this weird man answered the phone. I mean, are you guys a real company? I think I need my money back. Like, I was freaking out. Like, I did that. Like, anyway, so people do that. It takes a lot. But anyway, let's see. Oh, hang on. I got to chat. Hang on, you guys. Anybody else want to add to that? I got to answer my door.
I have two things to add whenever you're done with the chat, since I can't see the chat box. So
go ahead, Dawn. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Okay. So one of the things that I've done talking about this is new ambassador training, and Dawn, I very much agree with you that, I kind of feel like I was just grasping and trying to figure out how to train my new ambassadors best. I actually have probably OCD gone overboard with it, but last month I spent a solid 3 hours. I put together a new ambassador. It's a manual. I find, and maybe it's just the age range of the ambassadors that I'm mostly signing up. They're closer in age to me. We tend to go better with a sit down than we do being sent a bunch of documents in an email that we then have to open up and figure out what page goes where. So I've established a meeting with my new team members. I actually have like homework for them where I have videos that I want them to watch, or YouTube videos, like Sonya and a couple of different ones, just ones that have really resonated with me. I really give them a structure of what I want them to do, and I give them 2 weeks to do that. And then when they get their welcome pack, I connect with them again, and I actually take them through the documents that I found to be the most useful in my business. I share them with them so that they can then, use them themselves. So I'm really trying to focus on duplication, like keeping that in my head. And I've even gone so far as to there's a flash drive where I actually give them all the documents. Now, there's no reason that I couldn't email them to them, but I just tend to find a more positive sense from them when it is something that I can do with them live. Now, I know that's going to, eventually not be an option for me because of timing and distance. Like, I have a couple that are out of state now, but when possible, I'm doing that, and it definitely seems to be working really well, and I just feel that they just seem to feel more connected to me and to the business at the beginning when I can actually sit down and take them through the documents that I've found most useful that they can then share with their potential customers and potential team members. So that seems to be working really well. I've definitely changed it from what it started out to be. Originally, I was kind of copying from someone else that had done a similar thing, and the bottom line was the documents that were in there were ones that I never used. So I'm like, well, this is just stupid, because why am I sharing these with my team when I'm not using them? So I really tried to duplicate myself in the sense of giving them the tools that I truly use on a daily or weekly basis. So that's the one thing I wanted to bring up. And then the other thing, excuse me, is that I did start doing Facebook Live I started it last month. I actually did a Facebook Live event, and kind of in quotes, where I opened up, I opened up the door and said, okay, guys, I'm going to talk about Plexus products, and I talked briefly about the business. That's actually one that I'm starting tonight. And I got feedback from it. A lot of people watched it. I didn't get a team member out of it, but I did get a customer out of it that just told me the next day that she listened and she learned so much, and she signed up that like a day after that or something. Tonight I'm going to do one about, I'm going to do it about network marketing and trying to dispel the myth of why everyone is so terrified of what network marketing is, and really try and bring people around to understanding that. And so yes, there will be conversations that I plan to have with Facebook Live that are specifically related to team growing as well. The more confident I get with it, the better I'll be able to do it. But anyway, that's just another option to doing a Facebook event, is actually doing a Facebook Live one. So yeah, that's it.
Cool, that's a great idea. I love it. This is something that I found that I just kind of thought it's something that I found effective that I'm gonna be. I have children screaming. Sorry. Is designating different days of the week for different focuses, like theme days. So for example, like Sunday being rest day. This is just an example of what I did. Wait a minute. Hang on, guys. I need my kids to be. Sorry. They're all here and they're ready to go to Busch Gardens. So anyway, so Sunday being like, okay, Sunday is goal setting day. Monday, trying to think what I did. This was what I was doing during the school year. Monday was like new business, like getting personal, like focusing during the daytime hours. Like I thought Monday is new business day. Tuesday is my team training day. So that's when I did my coaching calls. During the day did, our team call on Tuesday. So really focusing on team, because here's what can happen. It's a lot easier to be a team builder than it is to be a recruiter, right, guys? Because you get a team of people, and how fun is it? Because they're excited, you're excited, you get to be a leader, you get to be, it's a lot more, I think, fun and comfortable to be with people and doing activities with people that are already on board. So focusing one specific day and targeting and saying, okay, this is my day that I'm going to pour into them, that I'm going to build and I'm going to train, is good. And then moving on, and then I know for me, like I did Wednesdays. This is just example. Wednesdays was like, okay, that's my face-to-face day. So I know as I'm planning, anybody that's a prospect that I want to do a face-to-face lunch, breakfast, coffee, I'm going to try to shoot for Wednesdays, because you'll find that if you're just kind of open-ended about all of those things, you find yourself doing a little bit of team training, and then you're running out and you're trying to do a face-to-face, and then you're trying to also, sit down and do some goal planning, and all of a sudden everything's everywhere, and you're doing a little bit of everything every day, but not feeling like you're really digging in and getting a lot accomplished. You know what I'm saying? Just like,
yep, I do.
Okay, I've got someone sitting here looking at me. So all really good stuff. I love the Facebook Live stuff. I need to do more of that as well. Anybody else want to share anything before we kind of round it out? Oh, I wanted to speak to Rachel's question about promotions. But anybody else have anything they want to share?
I'm going to do one thing with my team. I'm going to start an accountability thread with people who are at similar places in their business and similar personalities, because I found that when I was on one before, it really did hold my feet to the fire, where I was doing something towards IPA every single day. So I'll let you guys know how that works out.
That's actually something across the board that other teams do, and they do it very successfully. So I think that's a great idea, the accountability threads. I think I did like a rank thread at one time, and I think that was good to kind of keep people, every once in a while, just send a little message to a special group of people. I think that's, right? That's what we all need. I mean, even if you've been doing this a while, even if you're highly committed, sometimes you just need that person to say, hey, what are you doing? Hey, what's going on? Did you do what you're supposed to do today? Because it's hard to be your own boss. I mean, there's no question. It's a lot easier. It's just, it takes a lot of self-discipline. So you got to do that. So something I wanted to speak on was Rachel asked me about promotions and specials. What's my thinking? Different ambassadors sort of have different takes on, do you pay the $34.95? Does it backfire? Is it a good thing? All right. Just take my phone for now, please. Okay. So I think when we're in a position, honestly, of where we are right now, which is if you're in a place of trying to ignite growth, to kind of start momentum, to kind of rebuild a little bit, I think specials are a great thing, because you need something that your people can hang on to get them thinking, moving, grooving, and yourself too. Okay. So saying, yeah, you know what, for 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, whatever it be, my levels 1 through 3, go out there, I'm going to pay the $34.95. Okay, you got to think about return on investment. You got to think about, make sure you're not spending, like, this is all being a good business owner, right? You got to kind of figure out, okay, if I get 10 people that take advantage of this, can I afford $350? All right, so you got to kind of project a little bit. And if you're like, no, I only want to spend $200, then you can limit it and say the first 5 people that the first 5 people can, we get added, I'll pay the $34.95. Because what that does is that it gets people kind of moving. They're like, oh, okay, all right, that gives me something. All these potentials that I've had for the last, month and haven't made a decision, that gives me something to take to them. And that's why corporate will do it as well. You'll see periodically, they probably watch the growth module, and if we're in a slump, they kind of push something out there to help everybody, give everybody something to go with, right? Now, is it something that you would want to do often? My opinion, definitely not, because it devalues a little bit what we offer. If everybody's always waiting for the next, it's kind of like if you live around here, the Haynes, you know what I mean? The furniture people, like, they're always on the radio talking about, like, the great sale and how they're giving everything away, and it's like the sale of the century. And if you're brand new to the area and you're a military family and you hear that on the radio and you're going shopping, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not even a Haynes. Well, that's who they're marketing to. If you've lived here for a while, you're just like, yeah, whatever. Like, I would never walk in Haynes. Like, I don't believe them anymore. Do you know? Okay. So you don't want to, like, overuse it, because then all of a sudden everything's devalued, and your people, your prospects, whoever's watching you, are kind of waiting for the next big thing. They're waiting for the next, like, oh, I don't want to sign up now because in a couple of weeks she's going to give me something for free. Right? You don't want to get yourself, and so then when you do have a special, it makes it more special. But so that's sort of my opinion. I think it can be used and be very beneficial with limits and boundaries. If I was in the middle of a huge growth like we had between January and April, definitely would not give it away, right? Why would you want to do that? And then you kind of are devaluing, and then you're setting yourself up for people, maybe not sticking with it. You do have that. I think that, if you pay the $34, let's say we're just saying, I'm going to pay $34.95. So if you're paying the $34.95, uh-oh, my connection's unstable again. I hope you guys can hear me. Everybody good still?
Okay.
Hear me? Okay. Well, I don't even remember what I was saying. So anyway, if you're paying, I guess you just, like, you figure out what your business needs and what your team needs. And then I think that right now, based on what I see coming from the team, and I can see everybody's growth, obviously, I get the emails, I can go in the back office. We're in we've hit a major wall, unfortunately. Momentum that we had pulling, from the spring and the winter, it kind of hit a brick wall in June. I've been pretty upfront and transparent about that with most of you guys. We do need, I think that absolutely right now, to kind of get things rolling again and launching back. We do, probably all of us need to do some promotional stuff, whatever that looks like, to kind of get our people excited, because a lot of this is just excitement. It's like, oh, so-and-so, it's just kind of getting that excitement going again. So I think right now, I think we're in a position like Anita, she's already implemented some things. I think that's really right now a good thing. Just my opinion. Someone else might disagree with me. So I'll speak to that, because I've been thinking about, I haven't done any kind of contest pretty much since May. I know me personally, because I did that as sort of a test, honestly, because I wanted to see, I was doing so many contests and so many giveaways, and I was giving away a lot of money, and I kind of wanted to see if it mattered. You know what I mean? Like, does it make a difference? And I don't know if by stopping that and all of the things that happened this summer was maybe the perfect storm for stopping growth. I'm not sure, it's always kind of a learning process, but I know I personally haven't done anything in a while. So I thought about doing 2 different things. So I want your feedback on this. Either setting and saying, hey, we'll do the free $34.95, like give it away for a certain amount of time, because you can't, so I thought about like everybody gets paid $34.95, so that's one option. Incentivizing people to reach silver. Anybody that gets their 3 in the month of August, so we can make it retroactive, gets a bonus. So like you go silver, you get $50, like a cash out. So to encourage people to get to their 3. With that, I always think in terms of like, but is that discouraging for somebody, that is struggling just to get 1? Well, that person just say, forget it. I'm not even going to try because, I can't, you'll have that. Somebody that's lucky to get, 1 is a great month for them. Are they going to get discouraged thinking I've got to get 3 to get a bonus? Okay, so I'm going to throw some ideas out there because I really need you guys to give me some feedback because I can't, so there's that idea. There's also anybody in the month of August that adds somebody to the team, so you just get 1 person. All those people's names go into a drawing to win, say, $100. And so that way, if Amy adds 3 people, her name goes into the drawing 3 times, so you still have a little bit of an advantage. So that's an idea. So are you guys keeping track of all these? Because I want you guys to tell me, because I really do need to do something. And then the other thing I thought was product. That's like an incentive. So you could say, we did that once before, where I say, if you sign up a new ambassador with a welcome pack, they get to pick a free product, and I'll send the product right from me. You guys get all that? So what was it? Let me recap. Pay the $34.95 with a set amount of time, with a limit, because that could get very expensive. Everybody that adds 3, if you add 3, you immediately get a bonus. I think we could do 50 because not that many people get that, especially not this month. Everybody that adds somebody in the month of August gets an opportunity to win $100, and we can even have a first, second, third, or free product. So give me some feedback, and then I'm going to close out the call.
I would say no free product, because that could possibly affect somebody's PV.
Right.
So, like if I had somebody join and they were going to add on whatever, that's money out of my pocket. See, I've been listening to these people that are business savvy on this call. I'm just saying. I like the idea of the first, second, and third. I think that's good because it doesn't put a lot of pressure, but it does incentivize people. And then what I'm thinking about doing is reaching out to people who are really trying to grow their team, me personally, and saying, okay, X, Y, and Z. If you go silver this month, there's an extra whatever in it from me. So I'm thinking about doing that. Michelle, you and I can talk about that too.
And I want to say something here. I got to get it because I have 2 people on my team who have been in other network marketing companies, and they go nuts with this $34.95 because it's against the law to pay somebody's joining fee. So it's not even something I would think about because they're both very involved team members. So, what do you do with that?
They say that it's not legal to do that?
To purchase somebody else's, to buy someone else's way into the company.
Like I look at it that it's a rebate.
In general.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah, it's like a $35 bonus.
About it kind of goes along with the fact that we just found out that not everybody, that you can't have the same credit card as your husband or your child that's on your team because it is an MLM law, because this is good, Michelle, because it looks like you're buying your PV or your rank. So that kind of makes a lot of sense, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was true. So I think maybe what you need to do is offer partial, like corporate does partials. They'll say it'll be $17.99. So clearly that's not illegal because they do it. But maybe doing the whole thing is like buying your team and buying your rank.
But I think if you can also state it differently, that you're giving a rebate, because then they're already purchasing it, you're just giving an incentive back.
Right.
I think that using a different terminology might help.
I kind of, Dawn, I think I like actually 2 and 3 the best. I like that, you know, encouraging everybody to go silver every month, and I understand where it might frustrate some people, but that's the nature of life. Not everybody gets a trophy. Not everybody is going to get the bonus. It's going to be hopefully reflected in your work and your dedication. Not always though. I understand that some people work their butts off and they still don't get it. And I do feel for those people, but I don't think you should not do something for that reason. I love your heart and I get that. But it's almost like, I do both if I could, but I guess if I had to pick between the two, I would say give bonuses to those who add 3. And for the record, I don't have 3. I don't have any yet this month. So
trust me, nobody does. So I'm like, I'm not going to be out that much money.
I got nothing to gain by doing for that one. Just want y'all to know.
She doesn't.
I like the idea of the $100 for one, and then you the pool.
Yeah, we could do both. I mean, I don't expect more than 5 people to do 3 people. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, based on what I know about what's going on with the team and this month specifically in the summer, I wouldn't expect more than 5 to do more than 3. So, you know, $50 times 5, that's $250. That's not bad. So we could actually do both if you guys think that that would incentivize multiple people. Because we definitely need to do something. I mean, we need something exciting to happen. And I can announce it tomorrow night on the call.
I do like the drawing. I like that everybody participates as an equal opportunity depending on how many people you add.
Well, and if something like that, if let's say, you know, on my end, I say, okay, $50 when you go silver, you guys as team leaders might figure out that you know, Amy might say, okay, I'll throw in another 25, but that would be completely up to you guys. So if I sort of structure this thing as a template, you can add to it, and then do the first, second, third. And then that way, somebody that gets 3, right, they actually have an opportunity to win twice. Which is cool.
There you go.
Y'all ready? Don't make yourself sick. My kids are now eating raw cookie dough, waiting for me to go to Busch Gardens. So, yeah. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close it out. I think an hour is definitely long enough for a meeting. But I'm really glad that I was just checked. It was like, oh, good, everybody's still here. That's awesome. So this is great, you guys. I would suggest that we continue. We know we have chats and messaging. If you think of anything else that you're like, man, I think this would be really great, and you didn't think of that, help me out. Like, I'm really, you know, I'm learning from you guys, and we're learning from each other. But I hope this was helpful. I think this could be something that could really help us all stick on the week, you know? Yeah, everybody good?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna start recording.